Hello everybody, love and light to you. I actually got a female here. She probably would have been in her mid-70s, give or take a year or so. Now I haven't got too much on her, but what I do have is a very strange feeling of feeling off balance. It's like there's a fog. Now I'm not sure what this means really. Perhaps she was heavily medicated near the time of her passing, or perhaps, now this is a big perhaps, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe there was some sort of Alzheimer's type of dementia, perhaps, because I'm not feeling 100% with it, if that means anything to anybody. Well, I haven't got a great deal, only that at the moment, because she's a little bit standoffish. So she's coming in, and she's coming in with another female older than her, almost like a chaperone. So if I get any more, I will bring it up, but until then we're gonna do a quick tarot read, and this is a 4-card spread, and we'll see how they fare, and perhaps these cards might be linked to this lady here. She seems a very lovely lady, I have to be honest, but there's just not really any information. So maybe reading these cards and tuning into these, perhaps I might be able to tune into something more defined with this lady. Okay, so anyway, here we go. There's the first card. Now I like to look at the card, I like to look at the pictures and wait to see what impressions or feelings that I might get with this. And I'm feeling there's a great deal of deception. When the moon card comes up, that generally means there's something out of place, something's amiss, or you're missing something or someone. And they're looking up to the moon, and you can see these animals here. There's a wolf, and you've got a dog, and even the crustacean there wants to know what's going on. They all know that there's something not quite right here. Now when I look at this and I wait for any impressions, I'm feeling there is a great deal of heartache, there's a great deal of confusion, a bit like this lady. So maybe this card is related to this lady that's here, because I'm feeling a great deal of confusion and heartache with this card. Okay, something is not right. There was something, and there were, so this is past tense I'm feeling. So there's something not quite right, maybe some sort of misinterpretation of information, some kind of misleading yeah, I think there was maybe a prognosis that maybe didn't quite come to pass, or maybe wasn't quite true in something, some sort of information that you relied a lot of hope upon, and I don't think that it came to pass. I think something happened along the line. Maybe it was a diagnosis. Maybe it was just the fact that hope was more of a thing than the actual prognosis, okay, for some sort of illness for a loved one. But there's definitely heartache, sort of a feeling of being betrayed, and miscommunication, and a lot of heartache and worry and stress going on with this card right now. So this was in a past tense, but I think a lot of whatever happened or whatever transpired then, I feel that that is still very much an issue to a certain degree today. So whatever it was, you haven't fully got over it, you haven't fully moved past it too much. You try, by the sound of it, you try to be helpful, you try to be caring, but there's still that confusion of like, what the hell? I was promised the moon and all I got was rocks. Okay, so there's that type of feel, a feel of misjudged hope, misplaced hope in somebody. Maybe it was just the loss of somebody and something to do with the prognosis. There was more chance given than actually you had, if that makes sense. This is what it feels like. You know, it's very difficult sometimes to explain how you feel about something, and you can only explain what you actually feel inside. So with this, I'm feeling loss, I'm feeling confusion, I'm feeling betrayed, I'm feeling misinformation and false hope. So I'm going to leave it with that at the moment. Okay, the star again. When I look at the picture, I'm feeling again that this is very much related to this, and this is more of a now type of situation. When you see the star, it's sort of things like excessive, alright, overabundance of, too much, going too far with something. So with this, I'm feeling that there's a lot of, I don't want to say obsessive feelings and actions, but it's very much connected to this. So this would be somebody that would be still grieving in a very hard way. You're still grieving over a loss of somebody very important. You remember all this confusion. Maybe perhaps this was a parent of somebody. Maybe this lady that was here by the side of me just now, maybe this lady was somebody's mother, okay, that maybe had some sort of dementia or something, and perhaps you were hoping that these drugs, this medication, the care probably might have reversed something or given them more hope or more time, but the loss was very severe, very personal wound that has never really healed. We got a lot of spiritualness about you, whoever this person is. I mean, it is a female, it's portrayed in the picture, and I just had somebody whistle then. I don't know if that caught on the camera, but somebody just whistled. That was quite that was quite amazing. That was really loud to me. Anyway, so this is a female, and I think this is over a loss of a parent. But today, these wounds haven't healed. You haven't fully forgiven this betrayal or miscommunication or misinformation. You haven't really got over it, and you haven't forgiven anybody, and you still have this very deep, open wound. You try. You are very spiritual, and there's a great deal of compassion for others around you. We got the stars are shining brightly, and one big massive star in the middle, and this is saying this is definitely a parent or a loved one or somebody that you held very deeply in your arms and was a firm member of your heart and your emotions. So I'm going to go with a parent feel with this. If you look at the picture, this lady here is holding 2 jugs of water. This is the pool of life. You're filling up from the pool of life. That means you're trying to get forward in life. You're trying to move forward and you're trying to do things, but you've got this obsessive feel. there's this compulsion to keep trying to make sense of what was or what happened, and you're filling up on life, but in the other hand you're sort of tipping it out. You've got this yin and yang thing going on with your emotions, where you're having an abundance of emotions coming in, and then as soon as they come in and you start feeling a bit better, you tend to let them drift out, and you're pouring them back into the pool. So there's this continuous ring. So maybe that's what the obsessive thing is with this. You can't let go. You can't let go of what was, so you keep picking at the scab, picking at the wound. So this scab is not forming and healing up correctly, because when you start feeling better, it's kind of like inside is like a betrayal. Maybe I still should be hurting. You know, God forbid that I should feel better or feel a bit better and start to move on in life. As soon as I do, you feel guilty, so you tip it out again. And you pick at the scab, and you start this whole process of sort of not really being your best or feeling at your best, because you're constantly keep going back to this point here, or this issue here. That lady, she had a thing about maybe there was a joke or something like that. I just had this image of curtains. Now these curtains were floral curtains, sort of either like a black with flowers on, or it was a dark blue with flowers all over it, like a Laura Ashley type pattern. And I believe that there was a couple of jokes that her dress or her dresses that she wore matched her curtains. I just had that come in then, so I'm gonna just roll with that and tell you it as I get it. So there's some sort of issue with her clothing. It's like a standing joke. It's a bit of a funny ha-ha moment, but she did tend to own several of these dresses with flowers on that kind of did, in my eyes, match the curtains that she had. Alright? I'm still feeling quite a lot of confusion with this lady, so I don't think that she's permanently like this. I just think she's doing this just so somebody might know who she may be. Alright? So these are her conditions. Sometimes spirit folk, they do this just to let you know who they are as a form of validation. So there you go. I'll just leave it with that at the moment, and if something comes up, oh, she wore glasses, there you go, that just came in. Big glasses. This lady looked like, I don't know if you can remember, Coronation Street in the 80s. There's a character in there called Deirdre Barlow, and I think there was even possibly reference to her glasses being like Deirdre Barlow. Her hair was a bit like Deirdre Barlow's at one point. Okay, because I got this image of Deirdre Barlow. So that's another thing that they do. Sometimes they'll send you images and impressions to sort of validate themselves by making a point or a reference to something. So if I think of Deirdre Barlow in Coronation Street, I think of big old glasses. Okay, so she got big sort of sized glasses. Farrah's Fawcett type hairstyle at one point in her life, which was quite, but she always had this sort of big glasses. Again, I don't know this lady, but I feel that I should, for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe there's a link between me and whoever in the group, but I don't know her personally, but she feels familiar, if that makes a sense. So, quick recap of what we got here. Mistrust, denial. Denial's another one I just got from this card. Denial, possibly misjudged a situation. Betrayal, miscommunication, misinformation, false hope given. So that was what this one was about primarily. Oh, and obviously the loss of somebody quite dear. This one is not letting go of the past, not letting go of this situation here, and as soon as you start feeling a bit better, something comes along that overtips your water of life, your water of happiness, your balance in your life, because it's making you off balance. This feeling here, this feeling that you're going through, that you're thinking about the past, is making you very off balance, in the point where you're happy one minute, you're sad the next. There's no real average days where you feel okay. You're either happy or you're sad. That's what these waters are saying. As soon as you start feeling happy about something, something comes along that tips you over the edge and makes you feel down again. But it is over a loved one, and I do believe it is a parent. Okay, and I do believe this lady would have been your parent. And obviously it's a motherly feel to this lady. And this motherly feel to her says that she got a bit of a resemblance to this Deirdre Barlow, and she had a bit of a funny moment where she was referring to her clothing as matching her curtains and big glasses. Alright, so there's a few sort of hints there for that. This is very different to do a reading and have somebody here at the same time. So it's very this is very different for me. You have several people in spirit that you know and love. Okay, and they're all sort of looking down to you, and they're looking down over you with a lot of fondness and a lot of love, because they're all sort of come together. There's people from different families here, two sides of the family. So you two lots of stars, one main one that's bringing them all together. Okay, so you've got one set of family, like in-laws perhaps, in-laws or grandparents perhaps, and on this side is like your family, your prime biological family, and maybe grandparents of those, but they're all together, and they all come together, and they spend a lot of time with each other because the link is you. So, which is quite nice. And you got one major one, which I feel is this lady here that was in this moment in time. I feel it's this lady, mother, if you want to call it. Mother is looking down on you, and she's in very good company, and it's showing that you are very spiritual, or at least you try to be very spiritual. But unfortunately, the mixed signs and the confusions and the emotions that you portray due to the past, they kind of make you more down than up. But when you're up, you have a really good time, and you're the salt of the earth, and you'll always do anything for anybody by the sound of it. You're a massive heart, very big, very caring, and very concerning towards others, and you can help others more than you can help yourself. I think that might be a little bit of a clue to whoever this is for. You can help other people with almost anything, and help them through everything that they need to go through or are going through, but you can't deal, or you find it hard to deal with your own emotions about this event. Okay? And you got other fears as well. You got other fears that this event here is going to repeat itself. Okay? And I think that's a big concern right now. So there you go, that's that card. This one is a little bit different. This one's saying that you've belonged to something now. You're sitting pretty. You're in a sort of a position of not comfort, because this fella here, he sat on a hard stool. So your bum kind of hurts. So you're not sitting comfortably, but you are sitting in almost in a position of power, as if to say you are like the glue that holds many of you together in a family unit. It's showing that you've got something smug. You got a smug look on your face. It's saying that you've got something in you or something that you know that is making you feel real proud and making you feel like on top of the world, like a big secret, but a good positive secret that you can't wait to tell anybody about. But you don't tell anybody yet because it'll spoil things. But this is quite a positive thing. It's saying that you know something that makes you put a smile upon your face. So perhaps maybe you've got some dreams, or you've had dreams, or maybe you've had some form of sound, a sign of a loved one, perhaps this one being around you. Maybe this woman here that was here just now, perhaps that is your sign. You're going to feel quite smug once you've realised who this woman is. Perhaps that's what it is, and you can't wait to tell somebody this news. It's very important to you. But I'm not saying anything, not until all the right people are here so I can tell. But you're feeling quietly confident about something. So I'm hoping it's because that we've had a little visit here. And perhaps you've had a dream that maybe in some way lines up with what's been going on in these cards here. Maybe you've had some sort of sign of late, maybe a sound, maybe someone's favourite music's come on the radio. Perhaps you've seen something or you heard something but wasn't quite sure if it really happened. But by the sound of things, I think it really did happen. You really did hear or see something, and you definitely have been having dreams about this particular person. And I think now's the day, now is the time that it's all going to come alight and you're going to start noticing little things. Alright? So that's what this one is all about. It's all about knowledge and knowing something, sitting in a position of power, but a position of I know something you don't know. Even, to be honest with you, there's another feeling that just crept in. This could be almost like a feeling of, see, I knew there was something. I knew I'm going to get something. I knew this would happen. I knew my loved ones is going to be fine. You know? So having this little confirmation here, and with this spirit lady here, perhaps this is what you needed to hear for a long time. That they're just fine wherever they are. Okay, and whatever they're doing, they're in a good place doing it. So it's information that you know that is putting a smile on your face, that might balance things out here, that might help you about issues of the past. So that's how they are at the moment. Final card. Oh, yippee doo. Here we go. On this one, what have we got here? We got the Nine of Pentacles. We have a motherly figure. Go figure, huh? We got a motherly figure. She is now looking down into the eyes of another beauty. This is a bird. This is a bird. This means freedom. This means flight to fancy. So this is like a dream, or this is like a visitation. Perhaps this lady here, okay, she's saying that I'm a mother. I'm watching what I have created grow and bloom. You see in this garden here that there's financial gains to be had. So things are, on a financial level, it's going to start looking up a little bit. There's a lot of weeds, so you know you've had some rough times evidently through previous times, but in between these weeds and all this horrible negative sort of vines that are growing, there's beauty, as there's loads of roses, beautiful red roses. They're saying love, they're saying passion for life. They're saying that this motherly figure is looking down and saying, I am proud, I created that, and look how they're turning out. So this is not a bad thing as well, and this is actually confirming that this is a motherly figure that was just here. Alright, so Deirdre Barlow glasses, not quite with it for a certain time, okay, a little bit, clouded in her judgment, and I feel that there was some sort of dementia, or perhaps some sort of brain issue that makes things a little bit murky when it comes to memory. So there's definitely some sort of issue there. And this all happened in the past, and there was misinformation, there was mistrust, there was misgivings when it comes to hope. You were hoping for so much more, but it just didn't come to pass for some reason. You're trying to balance out your life. You've got plenty of people trying to watch you and watching over you. One in particular, a parent feel. Okay, I'm not going to say mother exactly, but if I was going to say mother, then okay. But I'm not going to say absolutely, but there's a motherly feel between me and you, okay? You're trying to balance out your life, but you keep getting waves of doubt, and you keep getting waves of, I don't know, pain, as you keep looking back and drawing back to the past and how you felt when this particular incident happened. But you know, you are quite spiritual. You've got a lot of people looking after you and looking down on you, and they're all trying to give you little signs and stuff like that. So maybe worry less about what happened and concentrate on what's around you, because there's a lot of beauty that is around you, and they're trying to let you know as best they can. And when you don't know, they end up coming here. Like everybody else seems to. Which I don't mind at all. She's a lovely lady. And I like her glasses. I don't think they're that big at all. So you got something here that's making you smile at the moment. Again, it could be just knowing that your parents or your mum has probably been here for a little visit. But you got this information that you're absolutely chomping at the bit to tell somebody about. So you can't wait to let this little secret out. But it's something that's making you feel quite proud and quite excited and quite positive for better things to come. If we see this card here again, there's financial gains. It starts off a little bit ropey, I gotta be honest. A bit short of money. But things start getting a bit better. Your finances starts to level out, and you start to get the odd little win-win. Not a big win enough to have you sitting pretty, but when it comes to information and knowing that certain loved ones are around you, I don't think money is going to be too much of an issue, because this mother figure here in this card is saying, look what I've grown, look what I've achieved, this is what I've made, it was hard work, and there seems to be a lot of things missing, but there's a lot of hope and love that is growing and blooming in between these old weeds of the past. So there's a lot of potential. She's very proud of you because she's looking lovingly into that bird's eyes, and the bird is looking back. You are the bird, and this is the mother that is very proud of you. Okay, this is what I feel. This is how I interpret these cards. They all have their individual meanings if you just want to read them, but if you really want to read them, you've got to read them with your heart, and that is what I'm doing here. So that is a 4-card spread, and is dedicated to somebody who could quite possibly need this bit of boost in their life, and maybe she might not tip so much of herself out, thinking about things she cannot change. The future is looking rosy, nice roses growing here, and you have a motherly figure that is very proud of you. I think that's a win-win, don't you? Well, anyway, there you go. That's a 4-card spread for your tarot. Love and light to you. Till we meet again.